Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where and when you're watching us from. My name is Mutathi Wachira Wanyaga, Mujiro wa Baria Karigithi, na ngwihoka kuma ngongo ciothe iria ciumaga huho. Muri thayo, thayo, thayo. As you have heard from that song that you have just heard here, it is going to be all about South Africa tonight. An amazing discussion that we want to have here with Ali, who's reporting to us live from South Africa to tell us what is happening in South Africa, because the rest of the world, not only the rest of the continent, all eyes are on Mzansi. Ali, how are you?
Good evening, Jumela Wanapapa, Nuera Wanamafrika, Kiera Musilian also from Limpopo, from the mountains of Limpopo. My name is Ali Melekana. I'm reporting live from you from South Africa. I say Wanapapa from the mountains of Limpopo, Mishimero Shivagamacha.
That's good.
Thank you so much.
Good to hear that. You know, Ali, you know, we understand that elections are happening there in South Africa. The results have already, are already there. So maybe even before we just let us get direct into it before we even start saying anything. What is happening in South Africa, Ali? You can tell us what is happening in South Africa.
At the moment, I can tell you, people are dancing on the streets. The comrades that politicians, they have names that they call themselves with comrades, fighters, commissary. They're on the street, they are dancing, they're doing parties. Everyone is outside from their houses, they're dancing, celebrating the victory of their beloved political parties. What has been happening for the past 5 days, we have witnessed South Africans going out to elect their parties or their leaders that they want them to lead the parties. So things are very different how they are happening in South Africa. So what just happened for the past 2 hours ago, we have observed that the IEC, which is the independent body that is actually authorized to run elections in South Africa, which it was actually presenting the elections looking on the regional and also provincial and national. I can tell you, Ochiri, things have changed this side. There are new political parties that are 4 months on the ground, but they've overtaken political parties that have been sitting on the ground for more than 20 years. You can question yourself that a political party of 4 months that is able to jump almost 20 spots and go on the top 3. Ask yourself a question. What is happening? Lot of problems are Right.
And Ali, even before we get into the details, maybe you can confirm to us, has president or has ANC won this election?
I can't say ANC have won the election. Reason being
Mhm,
is that we have a lot of political parties in the meantime. And out of
mhm,
all these political parties, they have to get a percentage out of the 100 percentage based
mhm,
on the population of South Africa as they've voted. Out of 100%, the ANC have obtained an average of 40%.
mhm,
Now, you can see there is 60%. The question, where is that 60%? It's sitting with all the opposition parties, which simply means that the ANC can run the government alone. It needs 11% more because in order for a political party to run the state, it needs 50 plus 1 in
mhm,
order for it to run. So at the moment, we have the top three, I mean, the top five political parties in the meantime. The first
mhm,
one that we're looking into is the ANC, as I have mentioned to you, that it's sitting at about 40%. And the
mhm,
second one is the DA, the Democratic Alliance, which is sitting at about 22%. And the third one, which is a party that everyone they're questioning themselves that what is happening? It's
mhm,
MK. MK, the formation of the MK actually is coming from the ANC. It's
mhm,
actually an army division that is coming from the ANC, where they
mhm,
pulled out from the ANC. Now they
mhm,
took out that army, they started their own political party. They're sitting at
mhm.
15%. At number three, you ask yourself, Wachiri, that what's going on in South Africa? There's a lot of sound coming from the street. EFF,
Mhm,
the one of Malema, it's
mhm.
sitting at about 9.5, and
Yeah.
9.5 they will regard it as about 10%, and the IFP is sitting at about 4%. Now, a lot of things are happening here. What is happening in the meantime is that the ANC cannot govern alone. The
Mm,
ANC now it needs to move into coalition. Coalition it means that it needs to go to other parties and try to co-opt with them so that they can get 50 plus 1. The problem
mm,
of coalition, which is that the ANC will never rule alone, will also
mm.
need to allow those small parties that are going to use their percentages
Yeah.
to also to be the ministers, to
And
be deputy
Ali,
president.
whatever we are
Yeah.
hearing is that we need that ANC will, okay, as you're saying, coalition has to come in. So you are saying that a deputy president is either coming from ANC, from Zuma's party, which I've heard that Zuma is saying that he's not going to party to coalesce with ANC unless Ramaphosa stands down. And then are we seeing that EFF is going to be in a coalition with ANC? How do you think that will go about?
I don't think it will go like that because there are two things that we're looking at. One,
Mm,
there could be a coalition between the DA and also the African, I mean the ANC, which are the
mm,
majority leading party. Because if
mm,
both of these parties they can go into coalition, it can work for them
mm,
because some of their
mm,
policies they are made there. But
mm.
MK and also EFF they can also go into coalition with also ANC, which will
Yeah.
also match. But the problem is what?
Mm, mm.
MK and also EFF are the enemy number one of the
Of
ANC.
ANC,
They will
yeah.
never go into coalition.
Yeah.
They will never go into coalition. The reason being
Yeah.
is that all these political parties that were formed,
Mm,
their mission, and number
mm,
one mission that they have is that ANC must come out of power.
mm,
ANC national go up by 50%. And they've achieved
mm,
that. ANC
mm,
now is sitting at 40%.
mhm,
ANC has been doing well for the past time. But at the moment, this year, the elections you were cheering, they were very different. The young
mhm,
ones, they used to say there's no need for them to go out and vote because they don't have water, some they don't have electricity, some they don't work. But in the
mm,
meantime, I'm telling you, the voting stations they closed at 9 p.m. But they were still even processing the elections until the following morning at 4 p.m. The
yeah.
lines were long, which shows you that now the member, the citizens have spoken now. The
Mm,
citizens have said, ANC, bye
yeah.
bye, come out from power now.
And
Want
before
all political.
And before we even get out of that topic of ANC, maybe Ali, you can tell us, as a South African, after 30 years, we are seeing ANC exiting from the stage. It's sort of an exiting, because now it means during the next election, ANC will be even losing more. If this trend is going to happen. So maybe you can tell us why is this the case? What is happening to ANC? What have they done wrong? Because I can see, the ghost of ANC are not working in their favor.
Hey, you could have had the analysts, they've been saying that, to say that, hey, the ANC, they have lost a lot, man. They have lost a lot. Imagine when the seats in parliament, you move from 230 seats to 159 seats. Imagine what happened there. Now, there are a lot of things that happened to Achini. Number one, you look at this year, within these 5 years, we had COVID. COVID, which is something that was new to everyone. A lot of them, they never knew how to handle it. Corruption is all over, although it might not be everyone, but some, they're also corrupt. So there are a lot of things that happened. During the time of COVID, there was corruption happening everywhere, where people were misusing their power. Some, they were saying that there were some of the officials coming from a certain party. That also made them to lose. Two, they have been promising people a lot of millions and millions and millions of jobs. None of those jobs have been created. They have been misusing the power that they're doing. We have been listening and also reading on the media about most of those leaders. Some, they have been charged. There was what's called the state capture, where some of the leaders, they have been, called for a commission of inquiry. Some people have stolen money, and apparently some of the leaders, they were also coming from ANC. I think ANC now is go and sit down and look, because I'm very worried that on 2026, when we'll be moving into the local election, chances are high that they might not do good, because they have dropped. They have dropped a lot. They have dropped a lot. They have done a lot of things that they are wrong. And now, another thing that they've done, they made a mistake by arresting Zuma, because Zuma is having an influence. The moment you arrest Zuma now, you should know that you are touching a rope. Zuma is whereby they arrested Zuma, and that was something that they were not supposed to do.
Okay. And Ali, let us talk about this other issue. Let us also talk about this issue that Africa is wondering what is going on. Julius Malema, let me tell you, here in Kenya, we really were hoping to see that Malema will be shining on the EFF party. Now, talk to us. Why is it that EFF did not scoop as a majority as the way we expected? And what is happening there?
Let me unpack it for you so that you can understand it. Look, the top 5 parties, I said it's ANC, it's sitting at 40%. There's DA, there's MK, there's EFF, there's IFP. Now, look at this one. There's a province that is called KwaZulu-Natal. This province of KwaZulu-Natal, it's a big province. And most of those people that are staying are the Zulu-speaking people, majority of them. Remember, President Zuma, former President Jacob Zuma is coming from KwaZulu-Natal. And we know that the Zulu people, they are respectful people. They are people, when they want to do something, they will do it without fear, without favor. Now, look at this. During the past year of election, the parties that they were top 3 parties, they're looking at ANC and DA and EFF. At KwaZulu-Natal, they did not have any alternative in terms of the party. Even though they did not, admire ANC to be part of the members of the ANC, they had to look for alternative. The only alternative with 2 parties. Then they go for IFP or they go for EFF. So most people, they decided to move from ANC and then they moved to EFF. That's why you have seen EFF sit number 3 on the past election. It's because most of those Zulu people, they have supported the EFF because of the formation of the MK, where the MK is actually originating from KwaZulu-Natal. All the people from KwaZulu-Natal, They have to move out. It's like those people of Zulu Natal. It's like MK have landed these people to EFF because now MK when
Yeah.
they started fighting now, all the people that are going back to the old party. But let me tell you, it's not only EFF. There is a big chance. All the political parties they have lost. ANC have lost. At the moment, it has lost under 50%. All the
Yeah.
parties they have lost.
Yeah.
They've lost. All of them have lost. So it's not only EFF, but I can tell you there's something good that's happening for EFF. Majority of all the universities, they have voted EFF is number one. All the universities, EFF is number one. The EFF student command team is number one. Although, you know, most people, they're not taking into consideration the manifesto of the EFF. That's why most people, they don't want to vote for EFF, especially on this one of open border, where they say allow our African brothers to come. They don't want such.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
understand
difference.
that. I understand that. And we were having that discussion here in Kenya with some other friends of mine. And I think that is one of the things that really did not do well for the EFF and Malema. And okay, so Ali, you can also explain to other people of this continent how the electoral process and the elections in South Africa are based, because they are hearing us talking about ANC, they are hearing us talk about EFF. You know, we are talking about basically of political parties. You know, for here where we come from, especially this eastern side of we talk of individuals. You know, we'll talk of a certain individual. Like there, we thought we will be hearing about more of Julius Malema than EFF, more of Cyril Ramaphosa more than ANC, more of Jacob Zuma than MK. So maybe you can tell us, maybe what makes your electoral system different? Why are we talking about parties?
In South Africa, things are very different. It's not like in Kenya. You'll correct me if I'm wrong or right. I'm told by a friend of mine from there that you guys, you don't vote for political parties, you choose for
Yes.
people.
Yeah, we
I'm
elect
correct.
individuals,
Now, this side,
not parties. Yeah.
this side is very different.
Mhm.
There has to be a formation of different political parties, as many as they are. Now, as many as they are, people, when they vote for a political party that they love. And when they're going to vote, there are three ballot papers when they're going to vote. The first ballot paper, you choose a political party that of your choice, the one that you wanted to run nation. Two, provincially, you choose a political party that you wanted to run provincially. Also, regionally, you choose the political party that you wanted to run regionally. Now, all these three ballot papers, you are not. It's up to you whether you want to choose one political party or three different political parties. It's up to you from these three ballot papers. You put them there. We vote for parties. Then what happens there? These results are going to be counted regionally, provincially, nationally. When they are announcing the result to say that EFF or ANC got a certain percentage nationally, there is a possibility that there are some parties that are going to run provinces. For instance, MK in KwaZulu-Natal is the majority party. It's going to run that province. They are the ones that are going to run that province because they are having majority. So things are very different. That we run the nation, we run provinces, we run region. A political party can win a province. When it wins a province, which means that political party, the province belongs to that political party, and other ones are the opposition. You get my point? Same when it moves to national. Nationally also, there will be opposition parties, and also there will be a ruling party that runs the nation. But this year, this has been the most challenging year, the most challenging elections ever in the history of South Africa in the 30 years. Because what happened here, they were forced to turn the lights on. They were forced to make sure that there's no load shedding. They have been cutting and switching power left and right. Every time when you have to talk, I keep on saying no shading. They were forced to keep the power on because they knew that if they don't have the lights on, they'll get zero. They lost.
But you know, South Africans will also know that. I think the message that.
Because if you look at the election, if you look at the election of 2019, Wachiri, ANC it got about 10 million voters, where they got 57, where they got 57.5%, and they got 230 seats in 2019. Look at this, from 57.5% to 40%. That's a majority loss. They lost almost about 17.5%. That should tell you that the nation is angry. And if you look at also the DA on the 29th election, they were sitting at 20.77. And when you look at the moment, the DA was sitting at 20.77. There's growth in the DA. DA now is sitting at 20.21.8. That tells you that there is growth. If you look at the EFF, there's a bit of a decline in the EFF because in 2019, the EFF it was sitting at 10.8%. At the moment, the EFF there's a slight decline. As I told you, the decline is that it's 9.51. So there's a bit of a slight decline. The decline which was caused by the formation of the MK, and the formation of MK, it took all the vote of the EFF at KwaZulu-Natal, which is a province. That's the problem with that. Two, we are also hearing from the media that most of the votes of the EFF, they have been dropped, they have been rigged. You find that in a province they reported 1,000, but someone cancelled the 1,000 and report 50. You see such things. People are scared of this part. So that's what happened.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you for that. And Ali, let us now also talk about the persons. You know, the personalities that they are very popular here. We talk of Cyril Ramaphosa, we talk of Julius Malema, we talk of let's say even Jacob Zuma. Now, people were wondering, is really Cyril Ramaphosa going to be the one who's going to be the president this time? Let us have a discussion around that. And then now, when you talk of Jacob Zuma, if at all it happened that the MK took over, won the entire elections by a majority, will it have been the case that Jacob Zuma would have been the president? And having in mind that he has already served, I think, more than 2 terms, does the constitution allow that? And now let us also talk about Julius Malema. I think he's the youngest, and people are saying, it is okay. He has achieved the goal of making sure that the ANC is no longer the majority party in South Africa. And people are saying, he's still young. Next time, we are hoping that he'll vie again together with the party and hopefully become the president of South Africa one day. So talk to us about these individuals, and also the person who was also leading the DK party. Is it DA or DK?
Yeah, DA. Now we're gonna talk about in the ANC we are looking at the president Cyril Ramaphosa. And then in the DA, we're looking at the Democratic, and the DA, we're looking at John Steenhuisen. And then in the EFF, we're looking at Malema. Now, I want to look at it in this way. At the moment in South Africa, the markets are not stable. The markets are just doing like this, are going up and down. The investor confidence is moved. Investors, they don't know whether should we stay, should we go. The reason being is that let's start with president of the ANC and of the Republic, Cyril Ramaphosa. Look, with Cyril Ramaphosa, things are very different. We know that Cyril Ramaphosa actually is a politician, and we know that he's a businessman who has been serving in the presidency from February in 2018. That we know for sure. And he took the presidency from Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma, who is the one who formed the party of what? MK. Understand it from there. Now, President Ramaphosa, in the meantime, he's a businessman who is also investing a lot into a lot of projects. There are a lot of mines that they're running, there are a lot of franchises that are running, there are a lot of things running business-wise. So most of the investors, they have a lot of confidence into Ramaphosa in terms of business, because you can see he's bringing a lot of investors into the country. Some are saying that if Ramaphosa can step down as a president, the rand is going to lose value. The reason being is that Cyril Ramaphosa, he have worked also into trade unions. He knows much what is happening into the labor industry. He knows what is happening, especially into the markets. So, and Cyril Ramaphosa also has served into the apartheid, and is part of those people that are considered as the wealthiest person in South Africa. So a lot of people, when they're looking at Ramaphosa, they're looking at a businessman, a decent man, someone that they trust. But let me tell you, that's not what we see this side. Most of the people on the ground, they're saying that they know ANC, the ANC of Ramaphosa, the ANC of the people.
Mhm.
Two
Mhm. Mhm.
Some political parties, they say they don't want to work with the ANC of Ramaphosa, they want to work with the ANC of the people. Most of the political parties are saying, I'm telling you, most of the political parties are saying that they will only go into coalition if
Mm.
President Cyril Ramaphosa steps down. Guess
Mm.
what? The Secretary General of the ANC is saying that that's a no-go area. If you don't want Cyril Ramaphosa to be the president of this
Mhm.
country or to be a president of our organization, you must know that
Mm.
that's a no-go area. We can't go into coalition with you. Very quickly,
Mm.
let's look also into the Democratic Alliance. John
Mm.
Stenson. There has been a lot of criticism in relation to John Stenson. People are saying
Mm.
that Stonehensen is right. Some are also saying that Stonehensen is unlearned.
Mm.
They say the guy he failed his matric. He never even completed his matric. So most people, whenever when they go to the parliament, they will keep on telling him that we don't want to talk to people that are not educated. So you don't
Mm.
talk too much. That's what usually do in most cases when he speaks. But I can tell you,
Mm.
the guy
Mhm.
is even power from the political party that it's coming from. There's nothing
Mm.
interested in relation to John Gay Jensen, because in the meantime, I can tell you that the only thing that they talk about it, they just tell you that this guy is a puppet of the white people, puppet of the
Mm.
Robert Heimer, puppet of blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of things that they talk about. But let me
Mhm.
tell you, man, let's look at the big dog in the house.
Mm.
President, the former president, Zuma. Whoa.
Mm.
Jacob,
Mm.
Jacob Zuma, that old man is having an influence. That old
Mm.
man is having an influence. You know what he did? He said
Mhm.
that for the past 4 months, he
Mhm.
have realized that things are not sitting well for him. He
Mm.
wanted to start a political party. He
Mm.
took by a man by the same name of Kumalo. He said, Kumalo, can you go
Mm.
there and register a party for me? I want to be
Mm.
underground because I don't want people to realize that it's me registering the party of the MK. The guy,
Mm.
when they registered the party, 4 months down the block where they know that it's election time, he shocked people. He took ANC by storm. He
Mhm.
took EFF down, but slightly down. He
Mhm.
took all the people of Zulu Natal. He went to all the provinces, taking the percentages, bit by bit, taking the percentages.
Mhm.
Everyone. I even saw a politician when they were asking him that, hey, how are you feeling, man? It looks like you guys have dropped to the top 10 this year. You know what the guy said? Ish,
Mhm.
President Jacob Zuma. Yeah, this political party. People are scared, man. Zuma is having
Mhm.
influence. I can tell even now, there's a majority of opposition political parties that are
Mhm.
opposing these elections. They're saying that they want recount, they want revote. Guess what? They have established an inquiry that is going to object to this election.
Mhm.
President Jacob Zuma is the one who's leading by all the small parties that are behind him. He's the one leading that.
So
They also
is Jacob Zuma sabotaging ANC?
not to say he's sabotaging ANC. What I can
Mm.
say, Jacob Zuma has realized that the voice of the people of this country is no
Mhm.
longer taken into consideration by
Mhm.
ANC. ANC
Mhm.
now is fighting for its own interest, and the members of the ANC in the meantime, they are no longer
Mhm.
fighting for the Republic of South Africa. That's why
Mhm.
today we see people having very big army. It's because they are only hungry, they want to feed themselves. So
Mhm.
we want people to be in government to make sure that they think for the public. We want people who are
Mhm.
going to be in the parliament to know that you're not just sitting in the chair to get a salary. You're sitting here
Mhm.
because of there's a million people behind you to know that you have to work for them. I think
Mhm.
ANC, they're using an old leadership style. They need to change. They need to,
Mhm.
to move from other styles of being democratic and come to be charismatic to the major sphere.
Mhm.
Adopt those new leadership style. You can't be leading as if you're just sitting in one chair. Those big, the Dallas with very big tummies. when they talk, no, you must go. No, time have changed. Time have changed.
Time have changed. South
No,
Africa is basically telling people that a change is as good as a rest. Talk to us about Julius Malema.
Julius Malema is a young, vibrant man. Even the colors of his political parties are red and black, which are shaking the whole Africa. This young man, his party is very, very, very awesome. This party doesn't want people that are not educated. This is the party for the young, educated people. Majority of the members of these parties, some of them have doctorates, some of them have degrees, some of them have honors, some of them have diplomas. If you're just sitting at a certain level, they will encourage you to say, go back to school. This party is one of the parties that is having most of the advocates, the tough lawyers in the country are the members of this country. We're talking about serious businesses that are also doing business in the whole world are also part of the members of this. This is the only party that in South Africa, it is talking about open border. This is the only country in South Africa that is bringing all the problems of Africa and making sure that it also teaches all the members of its about all the problems of Africa. We know when we talk about the African Union, when we talk about the Agenda 2056, if you can listen to Mr. Malema when he's speaking, he speaks about an African brother. He speaks about an African sister. He doesn't speak about Limpopo, Gauteng. He's an international person. He talks about matters that are affecting African people. When you talk of him, listen to him, he says, allow Zimbabweans to come to this country. Allow the Kenyans to come in this country. He understands himself because this man, his goals, he's lying on the same route of Karukurumba. If you listen to this guy when he's speaking, most of the things that he's speaking an African language. That's not what they want. Those that are hungry, they also talk about themselves. They are not thinking internationally. If
I may ask you, why is it? What apart from that, what else did Julius Malema did wrong that the South Africans are saying this is not what we want? Is opening borders such a bad thing for South Africans? I don't understand. Why is that such a bad thing for South Africans?
According to the reports that we're getting from the media and the social media, and also what we hear from the grounds of the opposition parties and some of the members that they have visited EFF, what they're saying is that they
Okay, I think we have lost Ali there. Let's see if he'll be able to reconnect in a few minutes. Let's give him a few minutes to see if he can be able to reconnect with us.
Israel.
1 minute. 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 1 Amazing, amazing. I think Ali has been able to join the broadcast so that we can continue the conversation. We apologize for that. We understand that there are some network issues that arise here and there. So Ali, before the network disrupted us, we were talking about Julius Malema, and we were talking about the EFF party, and we were asking ourselves, how is it a bad thing for South Africans for them to open their borders? Why are South Africans so much against that? And maybe what are the other bad things that, according to them, that they did not like, the ideologies of the EFF party that maybe for one reason or another did not favor the EFF party?
Yeah, Wachiri, I think I cannot hear you on my side. I don't know if it's at your end or what. Let me try again and see what's wrong on my end.
Can you hear me right now? Can you hear me right now, Ali? Okay, let us.
All right, Wachiri, I don't know if now you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, we can hear you well. We can hear you well. Maybe you, I don't know if you can still hear us.
Yeah, they see that now I'm talking serious points now. They're even cutting the stadium network.
No worries, no worries. We must proceed with this conversation because, you know, Africa is our business. You know, so we were talking about EFF and Julius Malema, and we're asking ourselves, why is it so bad that for South Africans to open their borders? Why do you guys want that not to be the case for South Africa? And what are the other bad ideologies in quotes, that did not favor the EFF in this election?
Yeah, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. As I had to reduce some of the devices. Are you able to hear me loud and clear from your side?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Now, you know, at the moment, there have been cases for some time where you find some of the South African fighting with our African brothers and sisters, where one will consider it as xenophobic. Reason being is that if you check most of our African brothers coming from different countries, when they come this side, they come with skills. Some of them are doctors, some of them are engineers. And when they come this side, they're not here to play, they're here to work. Anything that you give it to them, they grab it and they work. So most of us this side, we will complain and say, this is a small salary, we can't work. So I've noticed that most of our African brothers and sisters, when they come into this country, they're not here to play, they're here to work. Anything that they get, they grab it and they work on it so that at least they can be able not to sleep hungry. So the problem is that most of our South African people, they are very lazy. Some of them, they are lazy. So they tend to shift the blame to say that these African brothers and sisters that they came here, they have actually came here to take our jobs. That's the problem. And I can tell you, we have most of the African brothers and sisters that are into this country today that have created jobs. And we see most of the young professionals, men and women of this country, they've been employed by some of those African brothers and sisters that have took skill and knowledge from their African country and they brought it into this country of ours, and it's working. Most of them, they are scared because we see most of our Ethiopian brothers and sisters, they just decided to open tech shops. And most of our tech shops of South Africans, they are closed because of these Indians or Ethiopian brothers that are selling, because they are very clever, these guys. They buy stock in bulk so that they can be cheap. Most of our uncles and our sisters and our grandmothers and grandfathers' supermarket are closed today. We're relying to all the Ethiopians and the Indians. If they close, we are hungry. So that's the problem that they're having. They want all these African brothers and sisters to vacate this place because they feel like they have took all their space. They're not even able to breathe, because the moment you breathe this side, it's Ethiopia. You breathe this side, it's Malawi. You breathe this side, it's Zimbabwe. You breathe this side, it's Kenya. So they want to be alone. The space is too much. And even some of them now, they even know how to speak their language. At some point that you can't even differentiate between whether this one is a Kenyan or this one is South African. So they are all over, these people. They are all over. That's the problem.
Okay. We now understand where that mentality is coming from. But I think in the spirit of Pan-Africanism, as we move forward, we should be able to welcome our brothers and sisters from various parts. And South Africa is a huge country. I think there is a lot of opportunities and space for people there. Anyway, moving on, Ali, there's this DA party. Let me tell you, people who are outside South Africa, I actually did not know much about this party. Myself, I only happen to know about it because I do some little bit of research and I have friends in South Africa like yourself. But, I want to believe that many people in the other parts of the continent do not know about the DA party. We know about ANC. Everybody knows about ANC. And because of Julius Malema, we know of the EFF, And because now of Jacob Zuma and whatever he's doing, we now know of the MK, because even we did not know that he has started a party. So now, this DA party, I understand that it has been in existence for some time. But what we are seeing in this 2024 election is that it is doing better compared to the previous election. Why?
I can tell you that most of the white people, not to be racist or to be racist, most of the white people, when they say they want to do something, they commit to that. They will do that with force, with power, without any fear or favor. They will go all out to say, Wachiri, we are going to support Wachiri. If you look, most of the white people, they are based in one place. Most of them, they're that side of Cape Town there. If you look at the result, you'll be shocked. Most of the white people, they came out in numbers to vote for the DA. Even most of the black people now, they've shifted from different parties. They went to DA because they've seen that DA, they mean business. Because DA, they are running a municipality in Cape Town, which they are running it as if they are running a private business. It's always clean. They are running it if it's a company, but it's a municipality. They are always at the top level. Those guys, they take business serious. You're never talking about irregular expenditure. Hey, people are returning money to the government, blah, blah, blah. Those guys, they mean business. So we see growth with them. And the way we see growth in them, I'm worried that sooner or later, they'll be taking the top one. But I can tell you, most of our African black brothers and sisters, they do not want to see the DA leading. The reason being, the formation of DA, it was formed in 2009. So now DA, most of those people are white people in there. Because even if you look at the federal chair, it's a lady and a white lady. So majority of the people there are white people. Some are saying that DA is a political party that was formed by a group of, it's what people are saying, was formed by white people in order for them to be able to come back into power again. Remember when you go back into apartheid, the segregation of black people and white people, according to the history, it says that most of the white people, they were actually, abusing most of our black African brothers and sisters. So if you look at the DA and FF+, these are political parties. Most of majority are white people. So it's something that most of the election analysts are saying that it's a shame on an African child to vote for DA. It's a shame for an African sister and brother to vote for DA, because we have a lot of black-owned political parties that people need to vote for. But either way, DA, it means business.
Okay. And now as we are almost wrapping up this conversation, Ali, from what you've observed, since you guys were in the campaign period, I've been following, and as I told you, all eyes are on South Africa because we want to know now that the Rainbow Nation. All eyes are on Mzansi. What is Mzansi want? What are they saying? So basically, that is the question I want to ask you. That following up this 2024 election, what are South Africans saying? What is South Africa telling the world? What is South Africa telling the continent of Africa?
I can say before I can even answer that question, what most people now, they just want to hear what is happening now. As I said, the IEC, which is the Electoral Commission, this Sunday, this evening, they have declared the 2024 South African elections that they were free and they were fair. That's what they have declared. And also, the parties that they won regionally and nationally, we're looking at about 18 parties. 18 parties that they want to go into a region and also nationally. And as I said, that the ANC actually, it was holding 230 seats. Now it went below, it's sitting at 159 seats. You can see that it's a loss for them. So what needs to happen now is that ANC needs to go into some form of a coalition, and the DA, which is the Democratic Alliance, it has improved from 84 seats in the parliament to 87 seats in the parliament that have improved, and the formation of the MK, which they are coming from 0 seats to 58 seats, while the EFF have dropped from 44 seats to 39. They lost about 5 seats, and the other party, IFP. But what is happening now? There's coalition talk. Coalition, it's something that it's new into this thing. Now, what most of the African people, they need to, to learn or to know about what is happening in South Africa now is that for this upcoming 2 weeks, it's going to be a very, very, very critical week for us, because all these political parties, they are fighting for power. They are fighting to be into government. Because the President Malema said that if ANC wants to go into coalition with them, they will only allow that if they give Floyd Shibambo, which is the deputy president of the EFF, the position of a finance minister. The leader of a patriotic alliance party, KZ Mackenzie, he said that if ANC wants to go into coalition with them, they must give them the position of a Minister of Home Affairs. The DA, it says that if you want to go into coalition with us, you have to go into coalition with us. It's either you give us the deputy president position or you give us the president position. The ANC want to come with terms where they want to say, now we want to have 1 president and have 2 deputy presidents. Impossible. The MK, it says that we will never go into coalition with the ANC, because the only way we can go into ANC, we can go into ANC with coalition only if we are going into coalition with the ANC of the people, not the ANC of Ramaphosa. Very crazy things are happening tonight. And I can tell you, the markets are shaking. The markets are shaking. Everyone is like, hush, we don't have a president. But we're very worried based on the threats that Zuma made. Yesterday night, there was a media briefing where Zuma declared to say that this election, they're not going to accept them. They're going to dispute them. Even if they announce them this evening, they will dispute them. But what I can tell you is that most of the political parties, they have accepted the results. They have accepted the defeat. They are saying that this year, it was a year of change. It was a year of democracy. It was a year of each and every person that will come out. Although some of the politicians, they have been coming out knocking on our doors with food parcels in order for us to vote for them. The day has arrived where most of these politicians, they're going to be unemployed from today. We say to them, we're still waiting for those food parcels. Bring those t-shirts. Bring those food parcels that you always promise us that you're going to bring. The 2024 elections have arrived. The 2024 elections has came to an end. We will see those ones that they are claiming that they are councillors. Those ones that are claiming that they are councillors because of their mothers and their fathers. They fought for the struggle. They want to be leaders because of what happens in the apartheid. Now I'm telling you, my brother, the young ones, they want to lead, and change is going to happen.
Yeah, thank you. We hear you, Ali, because you have actually basically answered the question as perfectly as I thought you will. Because I don't know what next. What do we look forward to? And you have already explained that quite well. So, Ali, as we wrap up this conversation, you can just tell us, as South African living in South Africa, as a citizen in South Africa, have you been satisfied with what has gone on?
At the moment, directed to me, I would say I'm not satisfied, especially about how the elections they went down. Remember, the elections are conducted by an independent body where all the employees and all the management of this body, they do not have to participate into politics. But we have saw a number of things happening. Some of the employees that were giving jobs to work on the voting stations, they belong to certain political parties. And you will see that 2 weeks back, this employee was in a stadium, in a rally, wearing a T-shirt of a certain political party. 3 weeks back, three weeks after, this person is in a voting station. They're saying this person is a presiding officer. What are you presiding on? That tells you that there's a lot of discrepancies that are happening there. 2, a lot of political parties are not happy because their results have been rigged. Their results have been robbed. Their results have been reduced. The numbers that have been reported provincially and nationally, it's not the numbers that they got on the grounds. Their comrades that they don't want to lose their jobs, they have, given people brown envelope filled with money so that they can protect their party, not to lose the majority. That's why you see this other party. So I am not really satisfied. I would say the 20%, those are the minor issues that need to sort them out. But the 80% per se, I would say that this year have been a different year. Most of the people, they used to say they don't want to vote. When there's time to vote, the communities, they will protest to say, we are not going to, the whole community is not going to vote. The reason being because that there's no service delivery, the power is going off and on, there's no water, the schools, things are not good. But this year it's been a year where I saw people that they have received enough education in relation to the voting. People now, they know that in order for you to boycott the government, you go and vote for the political party of your choice. You don't just sit, because the moment you sit, people will go and vote on your behalf. So this is a year that we are hoping for change. It's a year that we are hoping that jobs must be created. It's a year that we are hoping that more political parties have been developed, but there's something that is worrying people, Wachiri. There's what is called a Moon Pact Party. A Moon Pact Party, it's DA. DA, they have formed a political party where all these political parties, the small ones, they are going to take all their votes and combine. If these votes, they're 50% plus, they will run this. And apparently, most of these parties that are under this Moon Pact, they're being funded by the most richest white people in this country in order for them to run the elections. So we will see. But the president Malema, yesterday, he said that, hey, the slave queens that they're staying in Joburg and in Pretoria, that they used to get some brown envelopes from the comrades of the ANC. The time is over. The time is over. The time is over. No more slave queens eating the money of the public. I'm telling you, people are unemployed. People are employed. People are employed.
Thank you very much, Ali. I'd like to thank you very much for sparing your time to come and explain to this audience of Wachira Speaks and Kenyans here what is happening in South Africa. I'm sure we'll be following up more, and we want to wish you well. We want to hope and pray that peace will reign in South Africa, because South Africa is a very key country in this continent, Ali. So and allow me to wrap it up at that, and wish everybody a good night. And the results, as we are going to stream the results also on our YouTube pages, at Go Youth Podcast and Wachira Speaks, and you're going to have them so that you can be able to understand even more. With that, I'd like to wish everybody a good night and a good week ahead. And we want to say that let peace be upon South Africa. So because South Africa has spoken, my name is Mutadhi Wachira Wanyaga. Ici nĩ ngĩrora cia Mũmbi Mũmbũri. Thayũ, thayũ, thayũ. Good night.